It's been too long since I had the pleasure of speaking to my guest. It was at Gamers Assembly after he eventually got knocked out there, but it's a pleasure, and I have to be honest, somewhat surprised to invite you back on because I thought you had left Trackmania, but here you are again, oNio, playing the game that we all love. Welcome to the Trackmania Live, oNio. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
And how is life? Why are you coming back to Trackmania? Why are you around in Trackmania again?
Well, after quite some time, like over a year in Asphalt, I quite got back into the hype of Trackmania with the new game, I guess. And for me, it's like when you play a game for 11 years or 12 years, I'm not sure how long it was now. Then it's not that easy to let it go, even especially when it comes back big time like this. So I just had to come back, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, let's say if there was not a new Trackmania, let's say that Trackmania 2 Stadium was still the game, would you say that you have come back, or is simply the new game the main reason?
Maybe I wouldn't. I would say that the new game and the new possibilities, the missing Rammstein, I guess, is one course of it. Um, I wouldn't say that I would come back if it would still be Trackmania 2 Stadium. It wasn't a game I enjoyed as much as I do with a new game, I would say, with the track of the day and the changes it has.
Hmm. But then let's go back to the time after Games Assembly, when the last time I spoke to you and the last time I guess the Trackmania community at least saw an interview with you. Why did you eventually leave Trackmania then? Because at least I felt that after that interview you were motivated to stick around in Trackmania, but we didn't see you after Games Assembly.
Yeah, well, things were changing pretty fast. Like, I told you that I would have the motivation to go back to Trackmania or to train a lot and stuff, and it's always the same after these big tournaments like Gamers Assembly and World Cups and stuff. But quite 1 month after the Gamers Assembly, I got some offer from Mousesports, like a sponsor of us, Vodafone, was sponsoring a tournament in Asphalt 9, and they were asking me if I would want to change the game or at least play it a little bit to make some exhibition matches and just showcasing a little bit. And then I started with Asphalt and got pretty good with it, like world niveau, I would say. And well, it changed the game for me. And well, 3 months or 4 months after I switched to Asphalt, I immediately qualified for the ESL 5G Vodafone Open, Mobile Open. And well, it went pretty good, I would say. So the change of game was quite nice for me. But as I said, now with the new game, I'm back with
Hmm.
Trackmania.
But it's let's say, how good of a player were you in Asphalt? If you had to compare your placement in Asphalt compared to your placement in the Trackmania community.
When you would compare it, when it comes to driving good times, I would say it was like Carl Junior Pack and stuff. I was definitely competing with world records there. When it comes to multiplayer, I was, well, like tier 2, I would say. Like
Hmm.
multiplayer is a lot about crashing sometimes. It's not about gentleman's agreement. Like gentleman's agreement would be in tournament matches or something, you wouldn't crash your opponent with some crazy weird shit like 360s and stuff you can do on the road. You can crash your opponents with it. And but it's normally fair play to not do it. But when it's about money, you get crazy. So it was definitely not used. Was definitely not used to it, and so definitely not enjoyed multiplayer as much as I did with the TLEs in the game, time limited events. It was time attack events and stuff. And there was this Trackmania motivation I had, like another try, another try, another try, and in Asphalt it definitely paid off.
Hmm. And then let's talk about the new Trackmania. What was your first impression once you first tried it? Was it, damn, it's already better than the old game, or did you have to had some time to get used to it?
Yeah, of course, I had some time to get used to it. I mean, I was away for that long and I didn't switch back to Trackmania Stadium, but the new game instantly. So, of course, I had some time to come back. But I'm not quite sure if it's about the new game or coming back to Trackmania. So, I would say maybe it was just about coming back to Trackmania and not about the new game at all. Of course, I was not used to the car model, the missing borders and stuff. Like, you feel like the road is so much bigger without the Ramstein and the missing bumpers at the end of the road, and I'm enjoying it quite much. But at the start, it was a little bit weird, of course.
But now you, at least in my eyes, you are looking to become once again a top player in this game. You see at PK Arc being one of the strongest contenders there. How serious would you say that you are in Trackmania at the moment? Are you going back to being full serious? Is it just having fun with this new game? What is the future of you and the motivation you have in Trackmania at the moment?
The motivation I have at the moment, and why I am a little bit scared, is the same motivation I had after the Gamers Assembly. And I'm quite motivated, to be honest. And of course, it was because of ZRT, because of PKR, of the tournaments I had now, and the new tournaments. And especially, I started with a new game with streaming and trying to get a little bit bigger in the German scene, because the German scene is really missing some streamers there with national with German as a main language. I would try to do this, and that's definitely one point because why I'm starting this big at the moment. But yeah, how I said, I'm a little bit scared because it was going down so hard after the Gamers Assembly. So I will see where it all leads to.
One of the major competitions that is coming up later after PK Arc is over is the Trackmania Grand League. Once you mentioned Trackmania Grand League, at least in the start, you were still around and people like maybe oNio is a contender to do well there. Is that something you have your eyes on, or is it simply now that you want to win PK Arc before thinking about something else in Trackmania?
Well, when you think about me in the Trackmania Grand League, you have to think about how I really closely missed the qualification to the first beta season. Like, I was in front in the deciding race with some seconds and made such a crucial mistake I'm still in horror about. So I couldn't qualify for it 2 times because Massa in the second qualification was just too good, and it was just 1 slot. Of course, I'm motivated to do it. Like, at the moment, I am without organization behind me. Like, I left Mousesports 1 year ago, and Trackmania Grand League would definitely be one point. What would be an interesting point for an organization to hire me, or to hire me, if you want to say it like that. And the whole system seems like about joining an organization and stuff, and that is what I really enjoy about this game, the esport aspects. And as this new game seems to be built around esport pretty much, I'm enjoying it pretty much. And of course, then I want to go through to the Trackmania Grand League, but it seems really hard. As well, I saw the interview with Link, and he was already saying it with the flat ice and the bobsleigh part and stuff. It's really hard to get inside this new mechanic, and as hard as I'm trying, I really seem to not get as how should I say it, constant on it. Like, driving it every round, I can do good times on it, but it's really hard to get consistent on it. So let's see if I can, but I definitely will try.
But let's talk about PK Arc, actually. And now remember, I forgot to ask Link about it because you both are really good at it. Let's ask you this. What is your first impression of PK Arc? Do you think it's a fun event? Do you like the event? Is there some improvements to do because it's the first event they host? What do you think about PK Arc?
At first, I was surprised. I mean, about myself, because I didn't think that I could do that good on endurance. I was surprised about the event because it is quite fun to drive, and a main part of it are the maps, I would say. Because even if there's some ice implemented on it, it's pretty drivable in my eyes, except the second map. But I think it was just me who couldn't get the hang of it, of the one bobsleigh part in it. But the other 2 maps were pretty good. I couldn't get the chance to drive the 4th map at the moment because there's some exams and some moving out and stuff going on with me. But I will definitely try it on Sunday, and then I will see if the next map is as good as the first and third. But it's a nice event, and it's a important event to have at the start of the new game.
But what are your goals then? Do you think that you can eventually win it? And if not, who do you think is the favorite to win it?
I would say there is a chance, but I think that if you compare my training with that of other players, I would say I'm training a lot at the moment, and I have the feeling that there are some really strong players who do good results even when not playing as much as I do. So I would think that maybe in the grand final I won't have as much of a chance as I have in the weekly finals at the moment. But at the first weekly final, I didn't think that I would do at all, and I won it. So let's just see how it rolls out, and I will just train as much as I can, and we'll see if there are some play. I would say, for example, like Link, Tween, maybe if he get motivation back and get good in the last 3 steps, and some other players like Pack, who seems to just play for fun at the moment. If these players will play seriously, then it will get really hard. So let's just see how it rolls.
That's it for this interview today, and I hope that, because now I again live with the feeling about oNio is again serious about his future in this game. So I hope that I'm not some sort of curse that after my interviews you're somewhat leaving the scene, and then in 2 years I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm surprised you're back. So promise you to at least stick around a little bit longer than you did after Games Assembly.
Okay, I'll try to.
But where can people find you? Because you are streaming. What is your streaming handle for people that might not know that you are streaming?
Yeah, of course. If you want to follow me, if you have some interests on German streams from Trackmania for tournaments and other stuff, just search me with oNioTM on Twitter, on Twitch, oNioTM on Twitter, or oNio 1992, because oNio was taken, and oNioTM as well. And there's some other social media links you can find me, but just come to the Twitch stream at oNioTM and you will see all the other stuff, I would say.
Thanks so much for doing this interview with me, and good luck for the future in PKArc and the future in Trackmania as a whole. And don't forget the promise that you just made to me. Thank you so much, oNio.
Thank you too for having me.
That's it for oNio. The next interview up is Riolo, and that's the end of the day.